At the age of 26 and only 25 fights, Daniel Dubois has managed to get a fractured orbital bone against Joe Joyce at 23, won the WBA regular belt on a Don King card at 25, and in the next two fights managed to get a torn ACL and fight Alexander Usyk. And then in his last two fights, he managed to get 2 wins over undefeated top heavyweights. Daniel Dubois has one of the craziest careers I've ever seen in boxing. It's definitely one of the craziest now, but this is definitely one of the craziest I've ever seen. There was a fighter back in the day by the name of Andrew Galata, and if you knew him, he fought in the 90s to 2000s. There's a great video on him by Rummy's Corner, a great channel I watch, and it was just talking about how crazy his career was. Like, he fought Riddick Bowe twice, he was winning, beating him both times, and then out of nowhere, he low-blowed Bowe and got disqualified twice. Fought Layman Brewster, my former trainer, got knocked out in the quickest amount of time in heavyweight history. Fought Lennox Lewis, got knocked out first round, but then got draws against Chris Bird. Had entertaining fight. He used to bite. Dude, it was such a crazy career from Andrew Galata. And the career of Daniel Dubois is starting to remind me of Galata. Now, I'm not comparing them as caliber-wise, because I probably think Dubois is a little bit better, but I just think it's so crazy what's gone on in this guy's career and the adversities he went through. So think about it. If you're Dubois, and I like the dude because I think he's a little shy. People on Twitter like refer to him as a virgin. They're just because he's like, oh yeah, but he's built like a tank, bro. He's built like a tank. So people don't really mess with him. He's like 6'5", 250. But I've always been a fan of him because like his quiet personality, he just seems like a good guy. And he does hit very, very hard, and he just went on a destructive reign from, I want to say, it was like 16 fights or something like that. I would have to look at box track, but that doesn't really matter. Then he fought Joe Joyce at 23. Joe Joyce at 23. I'm 22 right now, so he was only a year older than me when he fought Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce is a 6'6" tank who's only been hurt by Gilles Jean. We'll get to that in a minute. And Daniel Dubois fought a really good fight. I thought he was probably winning. It was like 10 rounds, but we know Joe Joyce has one of the best jabs in boxing. It's devastating. And he kept hitting Dubois' eye over and over. And I want to remind you guys, Dubois hurt Joyce a little bit. Dubois hits hard, and he hurt Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce is not easy to hurt. Like, even Gilles Jean hit him with a million punches before that final one put the end on Joe Joyce, on Zhang, who's like an amazing puncher. But like I said, let's get back to this. Dubois, he took a knee. It was round 10. He got a fractured orbital bone. His eye was completely shut. And he just got hit with one jab in round 10. It was close. Got hit with one jab. He took a knee, and he stayed all the way down. And, he lost by TKO. A lot of people called him a quitter, which I hated that because the doctor said to him, you could be partially blind in this eye now. You got hit so many times, and they said he probably would have like gone completely blind in that eye if he got hit like one more time. That's how bad his eye was getting messed up. So anyone calling him a quitter is dumb. Daniel Dubois is absolutely not a quitter. It's called not being an idiot. You want to fight all these dudes, all these tough guys. You want to come in boxing, fight until the death. Nah, that's not how you box. Errol Spence said something I thought was really funny. A guy was interviewing him, and he was just like, so Ugas and you, skill-wise are pretty even. It's just who wants it more, who's willing to die in the ring the most. And then Errol's like, I wouldn't want to die in the ring. That's dumb. Like, bro, that was a smart move by Daniel Dubois. He could have got his career ended if he didn't do that. So stop with the quitter talk. And he was 23, and it looked like that was probably the end of him. He was a great upcoming prospect, destroying dudes, was beating or close to beating Joe Joyce, and then the eye ended it, and seemed like that was the end for Daniel Dubois. So the next few fights he had, he just knocked out, not crazy competition. And then I remember about, I think I was going to say 2 years ago, he fought on a Don King card. A Don King card. And my little cousins were over, and they came upstairs to watch it with me because I liked Dubois, and it was the crappiest card I've ever seen. He fought Trevor Bryan, a guy who was 22-0, and he knocked him out, won the WBA regular, and I love to see it because this dude, everyone called him a quitter, everyone ridiculed him. By the way, Billy Joe Saunders, funny enough, of all people, called him a quitter. He's like, yeah, you should get him out of boxing. You should be boxing. The Canelo fractured his orbital bone, and bro, quit. And Dubois didn't even quit, so that's funny. But Dubois, he beat Bryant. I was great to see. And then in his next fight, he fought Kevin Lorena, who was around a cruiserweight. And first round, he got hit with a shot on top of the head, and his knees went down. And you're like, what? And then he walked back a little bit and took a knee. And you were like, whoa, this is interesting. This dude just dropped Daniel Dubois. And the first time I saw it, I was like, that looks weird. It was a weird knockdown to me. It looked like there was a leg injury, and during that round, it was Dubois just trying to survive. He got dropped 2 more times, but most times I don't think he got hit. He just took a knee. And the commentators were saying, he's hurt so bad, sometimes you can't control, you just got to take knees. I was like, clearly there's some type of ACL injury, and that's 100%. I'm pretty sure that's what Dubois said it was. He tore his ACL, yet he came back in that fight, got a 4th-round knockout after getting dropped 3 times the first round due to a tore ACL, and I was happy to see the dude get the win. I feel for Dubois because everyone called him a quitter. Then look at him. He won a belt. He got a tore ACL in his next fight, and he's coming back. And then the big one, this was about a year ago. He fought Alexander Usyk, the #1 heavyweight in the world. Fought Usyk, was getting pretty much shut out the entire time, but in round 5, he hit Usyk with a body shot. It was I'm gonna stand up real quick. So he hit Usyk. So your belly button's right here, right? He hit Usyk with a shot that was right here. It was it clearly wasn't low, but it was if he hit you there, your cup might come up and press you. So was it a low blow? I don't want to go into that because this is one of the topics was argued about so much. I don't think it was a low blow, but I don't think it wouldn't have made a difference. If it was ruled as a clean shot, Usyk would have got up and still went on to win the fight. And Dubois, he was complaining. I didn't like how he was complaining. You could say he quit in this fight, but you could say he quit against, Usyk. He got dropped in round 8. He took a knee after taking a bunch of shots, and then round 9 got hit with a stiff jab. And Usyk has a really strong jab at heavyweight, believe it or not. And then he took a knee, didn't get up, and it seemed like that was the end for Dubois, unfortunately. He got called a quitter, and then he quit again. But he never quit against Joyce. That's what I'm saying. But looked like that was the end. And then I believe it was the big card, not even 3 months later, he's fighting Jarrell Big Baby Miller, a top heavyweight who hasn't fought in a little bit, but one of the biggest trash talkers in boxing. He's 320. He's massive, talks so much trash, and he was the original guy that was supposed to fight Anthony Joshua before Andy Ruiz came in as the replacement for the first fight, and he tested positive for all these PEDs. He wasn't even hiding anything. He's a cheater. Jarrell Miller is a cheater, and Daniel Dubois fought him, and we're like, I don't know if Dubois has much left, but I'd love to see Dubois get the win here. He can, for some reason, a lot of people were talking about he can get this win and retire. But he got the win in spectacular fashion. This is why I'm talking about this really was like a movie. He got the knockout with 10 seconds left in the 10th round. It was a 10-rounder. It looked similar to the way Usyk was bullying Fury in round 9. Just hitting him, going back and forth, ropes to ropes. And, the guy's 100 pounds heavier plus than you. So Dubois has a bunch of power, but Miller's never been dropped. He weighs 320. And he was just banging on him in the corner with 10 seconds left, and it was called off. And I love to see that because Dubois came back after all that stuff. And then, here we are. It's June 4th right now, but June 1st, 2024, 6 months after the Jarrell Miller fight, we have a fight between Dubois and Filip Hrgović. Filip Hrgović, in my opinion, probably has a top 5 chin in boxing. We saw him against Zhile Zhang, who's top 5 punchers in boxing. We saw him fight him, get a split decision loss. He took so many flush punches to the head from Zhang, and a lot of people felt he lost to Zhang, but bro, Zhang is a monster. We saw against Wilder. So the fact you can go up and go 12 and win a close decision against Zhang is crazy. And I thought Dubois was going to get steamrolled this fight. I'm not even going to lie. I said in my prediction, I think Hrgović will win, but I really, really want Dubois to win. I want Dubois to win, but I think Hrgović will win. And the fight surprised me. Round 1, the bell rings. Daniel Dubois gets hit by 3 massive, no, more like 10 in the round, 3 massive right hands. He rolled with some of them right on the head from Hrgovic. And I was saying, what are you doing, bro? This dude's a monster puncher. He hurts people bad with these right hands, but he wasn't bothering Dubois at all. And a lot of people will say Dubois, they could say he's chinny because he took a knee against Joe Joyce, but that really was because of the eye. He got dropped 3 times against that cruiserweight. It was a torn ACL, took knees against Usyk. So he's never really been dropped like that. He's never really been dropped. So we've never really seen like him take a big punch and go down. So he took so many big shots. I was saying, what are you doing? And Hrgovic is a tank. So even though Dubois hit super hard, Zhang could not stop this dude. So Dubois is going to have trouble. But Dubois went in there, took a bunch of punches, just put his head. He used his head. I said put his head down, bro. He used his head a lot against Hrgovic. He gave Hrgovic two cuts due to headbutts, I believe. I think they were both due to headbutts. And he won by 8th round technical knockout over Hrgovic. And I was so hyped because this was the biggest win of his career. An undefeated Hrgovic, bro. Hrgovic was going insane. They're talking about Hrgovic versus Joshua after this. They weren't giving Dubois a chance. But Dubois went in there, took some punches, bullied Hrgovic, who is one of the strongest dudes in boxing with one of the best chins, and he beat him. And it's like, that's insane. That's another story in the career of Daniel Dubois, and I wouldn't be surprised if we had another crazy thing that's going to happen coming up in his career. He could fight Joshua next. I think that fight's interesting. I'm probably going to lead towards Joshua, but I wouldn't count Dubois out, bro. I wouldn't count Dubois out. But his career has been so crazy, man. And he's only 26 years old. So there's definitely going to be more crazy stuff coming up. I'd love to get a Dubois interview with him. I don't know if I can. He's not really on Twitter. That's where I get like that's where I got Ryan. That's where I can get in contact with most people. But I don't know if I can get it, but I'd love to. So if you know Dubois, show him this video. Shout out Dubois. One of my favorite fighters, personally, the way the adversity came through, everyone calling him a quitter again against Usyk, then last 2 fights beating 2 undefeated top heavyweights. It's incredible. So, Daniel Dubois, congrats, you're a legend, man. It's really inspiring to see what you did. And, yeah, I don't know what else to say. I might do a 5 versus 5, like, analysis later. But, yeah, more videos coming this week. Hope y'all are doing well. And, yeah, peace. God bless.